Grumble, the show that takes a topic from the wonderful world of video games and discusses it for your amusement. On today's video, we'll be discussing the ins and outs of E3 2014. So, what was our impressions?
There was lots of games.
Lots of video games. That is the takeover.
Lots of video games.
But let's begin at the beginning. So, Microsoft kicked things off on Monday morning with their conference. What was your kind of impressions?
Microsoft definitely nailed it this year versus E3 2013. Like, it was, the whole thing was just smooth the whole way through. Games constantly. Like, there was definite focus to move away from where they had TV shows and all that nonsense last year. This year it was just games. There's hardly even a breather between each game to sort of be like, now we're going to show. It was just constantly
the transition between each one.
Yeah, it was almost like, right, guess what this is.
Exactly.
And just kept going.
Phil Spencer really kind of like just owned the stage, almost like, and all his different teaser changes.
More wardrobe changes than Lady Gaga.
It's so true. But you're absolutely right. That kind of had like a nice mix of AAA titles with the indie titles as well. There was a game called Ori and the Blind Forest. It's almost like a Child of Light, very similar to Child of Light, like aesthetically speaking. So you have games like that balanced with the release of the debut of Crackdown 3, Halo 5, and the
Crackdown.
More Crackdown.
No 3.
Oh, is it no 3 now?
Just Crackdown.
Dropping the 3. Very like Doom actually. No, but totally. I was very impressed with Microsoft because, as you say, like last E3 2013, they really had to respond to that. Like they dropped Kinect in the lead up to the conference, and then obviously the Kinect went on sale on June 9th. They kind of mentioned that at the start, but apart from that, I think Harmonix debuted a game, but apart from that, there's no Kinect oriented titles on the stage at all. That is just like a far cry from last year's show. Speaking of far cry, we kind of straight after Microsoft had the Ubisoft conference as well. Ubisoft had a combination of really good things and just a bit shaky things. Like it started off really well, and then after Aisha Tyler, she came on stage and introduced Far Cry 4, like just blew the doors open. You know, it was a really good start to the show, and then she mentioned that the show doesn't it just builds upon this. Yeah, they cursed themselves, it just slowed down, and all these like
right after that it was just Dance 2015, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What else did Ubisoft?
Well, Ubisoft kind of there were 3 appearances. They kind of like brought back the crew. They showed a new trailer for the crew, and then
amazing.
The crew looks absolutely amazing. It's almost like it is an expansive open world MMO, and it is a unique take on the like racing simulator. There's so many. Obviously, with every new console generation, you kind of have like this absolute like
there's always the first
backlog of racing games.
The first racing game where it's just like slow motion of a really nice car, and it's like, look how nice this car looks.
Forza 5.
And it's like we're 10 years from, you know, look how nice this car looks, and that, you know, buy this game because this car looks really nice.
Yeah.
And the crew really seemed to focus on, with the trailer being just kind of the sped up footage speeding around. America was really like understood and just like almost trying to make you be like, look how fun it is to drive, never mind how nice this looks. By the way, it looks great. Oh, but look how fun this driving is like.
Yeah, because there's so many, like there is like so many racing titles lining up on the starting grid, if you will.
And as well, there was the new Criterion game shown at Microsoft's conference.
Yeah, that's right.
Which seems to be Burnout, but with helicopters, speedboats, base jumping, everything.
Throwing in all types of travel.
But planes, they didn't.
The game.
Everything. Everything that moves. But like they didn't give it a title, didn't show anything. It was all just prototypes and, you know, footage of them going like, oh, look at us, we're going skydiving, so we can see what it looks like to skydive. And yeah. So it's basically
they just went on like an expedition,
developer holiday, and then all the PR speak, you know, like, we're making a new game. This is Criterion's future. This is what the game we've always wanted to make. And like, there's no point in doing that. Even EA was weighed down by just constantly, like, even with BioWare, it was like, look, this is Mass Effect. Look at this concept art. We're really gonna like, and it's like, it's the equivalent of showing like the 3-minute long CGI trailer that shows no gameplay.
Exactly. I think that was the fault in EA's conference, in the sense that they showed games in the prototype stage. Like, this is like super alpha. And you're viewing a game as it's still like incubating in development. Everyone knows Mass Effect 4 is in development. Everyone knows, especially with the case with Mirror's Edge 2 and Star Wars Battlefront, they were both teased at E3 2013. So to tease them again is almost like overkill. Like, you want to, at this stage, in the marketing like trajectory, you kind of have to unveil a trailer. You can't have 2 teases, you know, unless a game releases with a delay or something.
But a lot of EA's conference just felt like filler.
One of the games that really struck me for Microsoft was the Sunset Overdrive. I thought that was really good. It's coming out later in the year, I think October. They announced the release date.
It just looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like a lot of fun, and I think that kind of sums up E3 in many ways, sets the tone for the next 12 months in the video game industry. This year was all about software, and I think in the sense that like you have games, Sunset Overdrive, during the Sony conference, Dead Island 2 was released, and I think the trailer for Dead Island 2 really typifies this like shift in tone away from it. Almost it's a way I would describe movies recently, especially like superhero movies. The Nolanization of superhero movies, like Godzilla for example, but that Nolanization effect and everything being super serious, grounded in reality, gritty, them kind of like technical terms that you've heard so many times about every single cultural product since 2006 or 2007. And I think that's almost affected video games. When the 2011 Dead Island trailer came out, it was the really like emotional, poignant trailer told in reverse of the little girl like Trouble in Paradise. She was going back into the hotel room, and it was a really effective story.
And Goat Simulator had a great party at it.
But for Dead Island 2, the trailer is just such a departure from that. You kind of have this guy running along a nice sunny promenade, and it's just a goofy, light-hearted take on like the same topic as zombie infestation. And I think when you have games like that and the DLC for Dead Rising 3 as well, you just have this like shift in tone. Like goofy, fun video games are like they're just.
Yeah.
Not that they ever went away, but they're just getting more mainstream attention,
coming back.
and I think they do deserve that almost. The Dead Rising 3 DLC, like it's just a ridiculous name.
Yeah.
Like, can you say it off the top of your head?
Super Ultra Dead Rising 3, Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition X Plus Alpha.
Did you get it right?
Yes.
But we can't leave here today without giving some FaceTime to Nintendo, even though they technically weren't there. Boo. But the main kind of game that came out of that was the Legend of Zelda for Wii U, finally, after the last game in the series.
Skyward Sword
in 2011.
That's quite a while ago.
Yeah.
At least in game terms. It's like cat years. Yeah, the new Legend of Zelda looks amazing.
Yeah,
they didn't
absolutely.
really show a lot of it and didn't give us much to go by, but it looks good.
And it kind of has a visual style similar to the Wind Waker almost.
Yeah. And Skyward Sword kind of had that. It's like halfway cel shaded, halfway not quite. It's like a weird middle ground. But anyway, we're talking about E3.
Yeah, we are indeed. Thank you for joining us today. But if we were to if you were to rank the press conferences, who would you kind of give? Like who won E3? To use a really overused cliche term.
I don't think there's winners, but there's losers. Put it simply, Microsoft, Ubisoft, Sony, and EA.
But ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of E3 2014? Did it meet your expectations, or are you just a bit tired of sizzle reels and bloody dubstep? Let us know in the comments below. And until next Thursday, thanks for watching.
Jinx.
Damn it.
Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition X Plus Alpha.
When does E3 start?
What's E3?
The video game conference?
What's a video game?
This had the worst nightmare.